Welcome to the next session of Strength of Materials. In this session, I am going to do the third part of the derivation of calculation of different strains in triaxial loading, and then we will start with some numericals based on the topic of uniaxial, biaxial and triaxial loading. So let's get started. Here you can see a figure. It's a rectangle along the x, y and z axis. The length is L, width is B and the thickness is T. The load along x-axis is Px, load applied along y-axis is Py and the load along z-axis is Pz. So I will start on the similar lines as that of the derivation of uniaxial and biaxial loading. So let's first start with the calculation of area of cross section on which load Px acts. If you observe, Px is acting on the area B into T. This is B and this is T. So I'll write here Ax is equal to B into T. Next, I'll put a detour sign and it is area of cross section on which the load Py acts. I'll call it as Ay. You can see this area is L into B. And third, we'll talk about the area of cross section on which the load Pz acts. For that, I'll use Az. Az is acting on L into T. After this, we will talk about the stress along the x-axis because of this load acting on this area. So the stress in the x direction due to load Px, we call it as sigma x. It will be Px upon Ax. So this will be Px upon Ax is B into T. Next, I'll have to talk about the stress in the y-axis or along the y direction due to load Py. Let me call it as sigma y. It will be Py upon Ay, which will be Py upon Ay is L into B. Third, I will talk about the stress in the z direction due to load Pz. It will be sigma z, which is Pz upon Az. It will be Pz upon Az is L into T. So these are the three stresses which I have got: sigma x, sigma y and sigma z. Like the previous derivation, again I'll calculate the strains due to stress. First, sigma x. I'll talk about sigma x first. So when you look at the load Px, which is causing the stress sigma x, you will understand that L is the direction along which I'm going to have linear strain. B and T will become my lateral sides. When I talk about sigma y as the stress because of the load Py, T will become my linear side and L and B will become my lateral side. Similarly, when I talk about Pz, which is causing stress sigma z, so my linear side in that case will become B, L and T will become my lateral sides. So we'll start with linear strain. In the x direction, I'll call it as Ex1. It will be sigma x upon E. So lateral strain will be in the y direction first and also along the z direction. So let me say it is Ey1, which will be minus mu into Ex1, which can be written as mu into sigma x upon E. When I say lateral strain, in the z direction, I will write it as Ez1, which will be minus mu into Ex1, which is minus mu into sigma x upon E. So this is because of the stress sigma x. Next I'll talk about strains due to stress sigma y. First I'll talk about the linear strain, which will be along y axis. So let me say the linear strain in the y direction Ey2 will be sigma y upon E. So the lateral dimensions will be x and z in that case. So I'll write lateral strain in the x direction Ex2 will be minus mu into Ey2, which will be minus mu into sigma y upon E. Next I'll write down lateral strain in the z direction Ez2 will be minus mu into Ey2, which will be minus mu into sigma y upon E. Next I'll talk about the strains due to stress sigma z. So the linear strain will be along the z axis. Here it will be Ez3 will be sigma z upon E, and then I'll write down lateral strain in the x direction Ex3 will be minus mu into Ez3, which will be minus mu into sigma z upon E. And finally I'll write down lateral strain in the y direction Ey3 will be minus mu into Ez3, which will be minus mu into sigma z upon E. So these are the strains due to the various stresses. Next I'll talk about volumetric strain. EV will be delta V by V, which is also Ex plus Ey plus Ez. Now when I say Ex, it will be Ex1 plus Ex2 plus Ex3, which will be sigma x upon E. From here I get, from the second one I'll get it is minus mu into sigma y upon E, and from the third one I'll get it is minus mu into sigma z upon E. So I'll write down minus mu into sigma z upon E. Now I'll show you a very simple technique over here for remembering this. Ex is the strain that we are focusing on. So in that case, sigma x upon E is the linear side, and obviously the rest two are going to be the lateral dimensions. So I can directly write minus mu into sigma y upon E minus mu into sigma z upon E. Now I will show you one example for Ey, so it will be easy for you to remember, because during the writing of these terms for solving problem, you obviously have to recollect these formulas again. So at that time, this is one of the easiest way to remember. Now if you talk about strain in y direction, so obviously Ey2 is the second term when I will have to write sigma y by E. So rather than just remembering that, I can in short write down that one term will be sigma y upon E, and the other term will be mu into sigma x upon E, and the other term will be mu into sigma z upon E, which means one side is linear when I talk about Ey, and the rest two are lateral. So this is just a technique for remembering them. Now you can just check See, Ey2 is actually sigma y upon E. So I have a term over here. It is not necessarily in the order of Ey1 plus Ey2 plus Ey3, but definitely I will get all the terms over here. The other terms will be for Ey1, which is minus mu into sigma x upon E. You can see I have written that term. And when I check the third one, here it is minus mu into sigma z upon E. So here also I have got that term. So this is another way of writing without even seeing those equations. So I will try for the third one again for you. Ez is Ez1 plus Ez2 plus Ez3. So for z direction, sigma z upon z is linear. You can remember like that. And rest two dimensions will come in lateral. So they have to be written along with the mu sign. Now if you want, you can again cross check with the derivation. You have got all the terms. I am repeating that it is not in the order of Ez1 plus Ez2 plus Ez3, but this is just a technique of remembering all the terms. But if you write in this order, then you will have to see from the derivation that you have written and write it down. But this is another way of recollecting these terms during solving of the numericals as well. So now I will just add all the terms for delta V by V. So I get therefore delta V by V is sigma x upon E minus mu sigma y upon E minus mu sigma z upon E, all the three terms written, and then I'll write for these. Now if you look at these terms, I will first search for sigma x. I find one term here, then another term here, and this is the third term of sigma x upon E. So I can write down sigma x upon E is common. Here I get 1 and here it is minus 2 mu, because it is minus mu adding to minus 2 mu. Next I'll search for sigma y. So this is one term here, this is the other term, and this is the third term. So I'll write down plus sigma y upon E from here. First is 1 and these two will again add up to the same value. And last I'll look for sigma z, which is 1, 2 and 3 term here. So I will get the same terms. So it is sigma z upon E 1 minus 2 mu. Here I have 1 minus 2 mu common. What remains is sigma x upon E plus sigma y upon E plus sigma z upon E. So upon rearranging this, I will get sigma x plus sigma y plus sigma z upon E into 1 minus 2 mu. So this is the formula of volumetric strain. Now in case if you are told to find the change in length, breadth and thickness, then Ex will actually stand for delta L by L, Ey will stand for delta T by T, and Ez will stand for delta B by B. If you recollect, we have written these formulas before. So strain along X is delta L by L, along Y it is delta T by T, and along Z it will be delta B by B. So this is the formula of delta V that I obtained. Next I'll take up a numerical. A block of size 200 mm by 80 mm, it is shown here 200 by 80 by 20 mm, is subjected to forces as shown in the figure. You can see along x axis the force is 250 kilonewton. I will write here in the bracket tensile. Along the y axis I can see it is 180 kilonewton, but since it is pressing the body, it is of compressive type, and along z axis it is 300 kilonewton outward, which means it is of pull type, tensile type. Determine the change in dimensions and change in volume. E is given to me. E is given as 200 gigapascal, which is 2 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per mm square, and mu is given as 0.3. So I need to find change in dimensions, mean the change in the length, change in the width and change in the thickness, and I also need to find change in volume, which means delta V. So I'll start solving. First I'll write down the equation which I was just talking about, that is Ex will actually be delta L by L. Formula for this is sigma x upon E, because we are talking about strain along the x axis. So I will assume that the load is along x axis, which means the change, major change, linear changes along the x axis, and rest two are lateral. Now here the load is given to me. I can also calculate the area. So if I have to calculate the stress sigma x, it will be Px upon Ax. Px is given to me 250 into 10 raised to 3. For calculating Ax, it is this area. This is 20 and this is 80. So it is this dimension along which the load is exerted. I get the answer as 156.25 Newton per mm square. When I have to calculate sigma y, it is Py upon Ay. So Py is actually 180 into 10 raised to 3, and area, if you see, this is the area on which Py is exerted, it is 200 by 80. So I get the answer as 11.25 Newton per mm square. Now since this is of compressive type, I have to use a negative sign. Last I'll calculate sigma z. It will be Pz upon Az. Pz is given to me as 300 into 10 raised to 3, and the area is going to be 20 by 200. So I'll write here 20 into 200. I get the answer as 75 Newton per mm square. Now when I substitute these values, sigma x is known, sigma y is known, sigma z is known, mu is also given to me as 0.3, and E is 2 into 10 raised to 5, I will directly get the answer of Ex. I'll write down 1 for you. Therefore, delta L by L is equal to, you have 1 by E common if you see, and you'll have sigma x minus mu into sigma y minus mu into sigma z. I have 1 upon 2 into 10 raised to 5 into sigma x, I get the value as 156.25 minus 0.3 into sigma y was negative, so it is minus 11.25. Please make sure that you write this value correctly, because here it is negative 11.25 and not positive. If you ignore the negative sign of compression, then you will get a wrong answer here. And last is minus 0.3 into 75. Now here there is delta L, and the value of L is, if you look carefully, Px is talking about the length 200, wherein there will be an elongation. So it is along this length where there is a pull. So I'll mark this as L. So this is my T and this is my B. So I'll write down over here 200. Therefore I get the answer of delta L as 0.13725 mm. Now since I get the answer as positive, I'll write down that there is a increase in L value. Next I have to calculate Ey, which will give me delta T by T. That's what I have written here, that this dimension is T. It's along the y axis. For writing the formula, I'll again use the same technique as I told you. Since I'm talking about y direction, I'll write sigma y upon E, and rest 2 will go in lateral. So let me substitute delta T. T is 80, and here again E is common, so 2 into 10 raised to 5. What remains is sigma y, which is minus 11.25 minus 0.3 into 156.25 and minus 0.3 into 75. I get the answer of delta T as minus 8.0625 into 10 raised to minus 3 mm. Now I get a negative sign, which means that there will be a decrease of thickness. So I'll write down, therefore delta T is 8.0625 into 10 raised to minus 3 mm. I will justify the negative sign as decrease. Never leave a dimension as negative, because any dimension is not negative. The negative sign indicates something. So this always has to be justified. Next I'll write about the strain along the z axis. That will be delta B by B, which will be sigma z upon E minus mu sigma x upon E minus mu sigma y upon E. So here I can write down delta B upon AT is equal to, I'm sorry, this value was 20, not 80. So this is 80 is equal to 1 upon 2 into 10 raised to 5. Sigma z value is 75 minus 0.3 into 156.25 minus 0.3 into minus 11.25. 0.01225. So when I solve this, I get the value of delta B as 0.0126 mm. Now since I get a positive answer, there is a increase in this dimension as well. So this is how all three dimensions are supposed to be calculated. Next I am going to calculate the change in volume. So I'll write down change in volume is the second one which I need to calculate, which is my delta V. For calculating volume V, I'll write down L into B into T. Length is 200, B is 80, T is 20. I get the answer as 3,20,000 mm cube. So this is my initial volume. If I have to calculate the change or the new volume that I obtained because of these load acting on the body, so I'll calculate new volume will be V plus delta V. V is the original volume or the initial volume, and there will be some change. So there will be some addition in volume. So V plus delta V. So I will get this value as L plus delta L into B plus delta B and T plus delta T. You just have to add all the values to the initial value and multiply. So here I'll get L is 200 plus I get the value of delta L as 0.13725, B is 80 plus I get the value of delta B as 0.0126 and T is 20 plus 8.0625 into 10 raised to minus 3. Now this will not be plus, this will be minus because I have got a negative sign. So I'll solve this and I'll get the value as 320,141 mm cube. Now when I have to calculate the change in volume, which is delta V, it will be new volume minus initial volume. So I will get 320,141 minus 320000. I get the answer as 141 mm cube. So this is my change in volume. So this is how the numerical is supposed to be solved for a triaxial loading. I hope you have understood the session. I will conclude the session with this numerical. There are two more numericals which I will be solving in the next lecture. If you have any doubts or you want me to solve any numerical, please write to me in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell icon for latest updates of my videos. See you in the next session. Thank you.